So this is 8.3c in trigonometry. We're on the last example, example 3. We're going to use the product and quotient theorems with a calculator because sometimes you can't just look at the sign. I mean, sometimes you're not given the sine of 30 degrees where you already know exactly what that is. Sometimes you're given something ridiculous like 9.3 cis 125.2 degrees. And you're multiplying it times 2.7 cis 49.8 degrees. Alright, when you're given one like that, we're going to follow our formula. R1, R2, cis theta 1 plus theta 2. Alright, so 9.3, first R, second R, and we're going to multiply that by cis, first theta, second theta, okay, and then we're going to split that up. Now, first of all, let's go ahead and add our cis's and multiply. So 25.11 for this cis, and our degree that we're going to add is 175 degrees. Now let's go ahead and split them up. 25.11, and we're going to do cosine of 175 plus I sine of 175. And this is where your calculator comes in handy. You're going to take the cosine of 175 and you're going to get negative 0.9962-ish. Then you're going to take the sine of 175 and you're going to get 0.08716-ish. Okay, and then we distribute this over here and this over here, and when we distribute we get negative 25.0144 plus 2.1885 and then I, and that ends up being your answer. So it isn't very clean, but you do have a calculator, so it makes it so it's not too terrible. Alright, let's do the second one that they have here, which is a division problem. 10.42, and we've got cosine, and they're giving it to us in radians. And giving it to us expanded there instead of as a cis. 5.21, and they're giving us cosine of pi over 5 plus I sine of pi over 5. Okay, so what are we going to do with that? Well, we're going to use our formula, R1 over R2 cis theta 1 minus theta 2. So first of all, we're going to write it in that form. So 10.42 over 5.21, and we're going to multiply that by the cis of our first theta, 3 pi over 4 minus our second theta, which basically our top theta minus our bottom theta. Alright. And then we can expand that puppy right there into, do it here in red, 10.42 over 5.21. And let's go ahead and write cosine, put this in braces, of our difference. Let's just go ahead and subtract. That's kind of silly to rewrite all that out. So I was going to take 3 pi over 4 minus pi over 5 But let's just go ahead and do that. 11 pi over 20 plus I sine of 11 pi over 20. Now I'm assuming you know where this 11 pi over 20 came from. It came from this minus this. Common denominators of 20, and this became a 15, and this became a 4. 15 minus 4 is 11. So we just took these and subtracted and got our angles there. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to distribute. First of all, we're going to take our calculator and we're going to take 11 pi over 20, take the cosine. 11 pi over 20, take the sine. Distribute, or go ahead and divide this. Then distribute. Well, actually, that divided is just 2, isn't it? So this is just 2 times whatever the cosine 11 pi over 20 is, plus I, 2 times the sine of that. And we end up getting for here, when we multiply that one out and distribute it, negative 0.3129. And then when we multiply this, or the 2, times this here, we end up getting 1.9754. The book doesn't have the I on there, but there is an I. That I did not go away. So that ends up being your answer. And that's it for lesson 8.3, and we did a couple of the problems, so we'll just kind of leave that alone. Notice 25 to 32 are doing problems exactly like the one I just did with the decimals. Makes them easier because you're just using your calculator. So that shouldn't give you any trouble, and that's it for 8.3.